Alright guys, this is actually going to be one of my first Battlefield 3 commentaries. I haven't really decided the direction that I want to go with it yet as far as the structure of the commentaries, but I figured it would be good just to give you guys more situational awareness and the ideas that run through my head when I play these matches. Since there's so much that's normally going on in Battlefield 3, even more so than what's going on in Battlefield Play for Free, I figured it would be best just to give you more of a play-by-play of what I'm thinking rather than just describing a specific gun or attachment or anything like that. So here it goes. Of course, the map I'm playing on is Bandar Desert, and it's actually the smaller squad deathmatch version, so I'm playing with 16 other players right now, including me. This was also my first time playing Bandar Desert on the smaller variant of the map, so I was kind of just surveying the area at first when I first spawned in, and I kind of got stuck on the outside and getting caught in this situation here, so which wasn't very good. Obviously, a lot of you know that my most comfortable class that I usually pick is Recon. A lot of people tend to dislike Recons in Battlefield 3, mainly because a lot of people tend to pick it and do absolutely nothing but snipe, and that's about it. They don't really spot enemies or do what they're supposed to do as their full duties as a recon. So, yeah, I do tend to get caught up in, some long-distance sniping matches or being very offensive as a sniper and shooting people on the run. So I do run and gun more like a sharpshooter rather than a sniper. Of course, the primary weapon that I use for the recon the most is the M40A5 with the 8x rifle scope and the straight pool bolt, and I usually don't put on any type of additional attachments like a suppressor or laser sight or anything like that, so I usually have no third attachment. If I do decide to roll with an attachment though for the sniper rifle, I usually put the laser sight on it because if I get really close up on an enemy and I need to bust headshots without zooming in scope, I usually just make sure that the laser sight's on, but the reason why I don't roll with a third attachment is usually I forget to turn it off, which kind of blows my cover if I need to be sneaky or to make advancements to one area to the next. The reason why I use the M40A5 over the other bolt-action sniper rifles is mainly because I like the bolt cycle, the time it takes between shots for it to cycle through. It seems to be a lot quicker than the M98B or any of the other bolt actions in general, so I like to be able to pull off quick headshots as fast as possible, so that's why I usually turn to this rifle, and I just love the M40 series rifles in general, or the M series rifles in general. I mean, they're my favorite rifles. They're just a staple rifle in the Battlefield series. The secondary sidearm that I use is the MP443, and it's actually the suppressed variant. The reason why I use this is so that way if I need to get up close on enemies and not give away my position, the silencer definitely does a good job, or excuse me, the suppressor does a good job of that. I also do like the fact that I get 18 bullets per magazine with this pistol, and it's semi-automatic, so I can get a little bit more controlled shots when I'm firing, which is something I also like. For the gadgets, I decided to play it on the safe side since I didn't know the map at all, and since it was the first time playing the map in Squad Deathmatch. I decided that tugs would be a good option, so that way I can always assist my team in showing where the enemies are located at. If we decide to post up in a centralized location like this building here. And I also have the radio beacon, which is also a default gadget that every recon should have equipped or needs to equip because it's kind of stupid not to have it. As far as placing the radio beacon, I decided it was a wise idea to place it inside the building, so that way instead of my teammates just parachuting in from this area and being exposed to enemy fire, when you place the respawn beacon inside of the building, people just spawn in near it rather than parachuting down from the sky being exposed. So I figured that was a wise idea for the first time playing this map too. Also, to assist in my accuracy and to assist in my teammates' overall accuracy, I usually have the reduced suppression specialization equipped, which, I'm sorry, is actually called squad cover. And I like using this because it reduces the time it takes for me to get suppressive fire effects. So if an enemy's just sitting there firing a barrage of bullets my way, it kind of blurs my vision a little bit, like how you see here, and makes it to where my shots aren't so accurate. So that kind of reduces it a little bit, which is what I like since I like to be able to fire and make accurate shots. With how open Bandar Desert seemed to be for a small squad deathmatch map, It seemed to be a really good choice to pick the recon class as far as being able to make those shots whenever those enemies spawned in, because once you get to the center area with the buildings that are being constructed, you can pretty much post up there with your squad and just kind of cover all vicinities and just snipe and pick people off as they try to make way towards your position. Because essentially it seems like a King of the Hill type of map, and once you die, if you don't spawn on your squad mates, you spawn on the outside areas. Now, sometimes it's not a bad idea, especially as a recon. I decided it was going to be more beneficial to spawn on the outside instead of with my squad mates, because I could flank the enemies that were moving in by doing what a recon does best and just surveys the area and spots enemies or snipes them out. One thing that took me by surprise playing the small variant of this map was the fact that there was an LAV in here, so just keep that in mind if you're playing, that there is going to be at least one LAV that people can get and will fight for to take if they realize it's there. So, you know, if you tend to have a squad that's filled with nothing but, you know, medics, which is usually the case with squad deathmatch for any team normally, I mean, that kind of leaves you a bit defenseless or helpless against LAV unless somebody spawns in, of course, as an engineer and takes them out. Also, for the first time going into this map, I feel like the scope that I decided to use was actually right on par with it. You know, if it was a much smaller squad deathmatch map, I probably would have went with one of the closer in scopes, like the ACOG, for instance, but I feel it was just a right fit for this map, especially for the types of engagements I was getting into with the enemies. In the game, most of the time you see me kind of run around and do my own thing while I kind of stare at my team a little bit just to see what's going on. You know, Recon does have that type of role where they are kind of like the lone wolf of the group, but that's mainly because they're just doing surveillance as far as being able to spot enemies and take out who they can. The other idea about me being a lone wolf from my team is to have a mobile spawn point for my teammates just in case the entire squad got taken out. Of course, one of the drawbacks with the M40A5 is that it does have a considerable amount of bullet drop in comparison to the L96 and the M98B, which everybody seems to commonly use, and also how fast the bullet travels from farther ranges. So of course, from medium range out, you see me try and pace my shots a little bit and try to time them correctly with little error, because you know, I want to take out my enemies as effectively as possible without giving away my position and ruining our chances of winning as a team in general. As far as our squad loadout went, we had 2 assaults and 2 recons, which was actually a pretty decent loadout considering the map we're playing on. Of course, with these loadouts for the squad, it would have been best to be in the center of the map and in one of the buildings. Of course, the 2 recons would have been on top of the building, sniping out enemies from a distance or spotting enemies that are closing in, as well as the assault class characters just pretty much patrolling the areas within the building to take the enemies out. Of course, with the way things were going and the lead that we had in the game at this point, I felt like it would have been okay just to roam around on the outskirts of the map just to take out the enemies as best as possible. So of course I just decided to do a random spawn location on the outside of the map, and what it would normally do is spawn me right around the general vicinity of the enemies that I was trying to take out. But of course, also in turn of doing that, it leaves me extremely exposed to a lot of enemy fire and for people to flank behind me when they spawn in behind me. And I guess that's pretty much all I got in regards to this map. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little commentary here that I had. I'm going to be working on doing some more Battlefield 3 stuff like this, but you know, I'll just do general commentaries for it, I guess, as far as my idea and structure of the maps, and I'll put any tips or tricks or any ideas that I may find along the way. Also, for those of you interested, I will be having a live broadcast on YouTube like I announced in my previous video that I've uploaded. It will be Saturday at 4 p.m. So depending on the time it takes to upload this video or to get it done, it may be today or tomorrow at 4 p.m. So just check that out, and all you have to do is just go to YouTube at around 4 p.m. and then I'll be on there with a live broadcast, and you can ask me questions and have a good old grand time. So yeah, with all that being said, I hope you guys liked the little commentary video that I had here, and I'll be making many more, and I'll see you all next time.